Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Webinar Wednesday. My name is Brandon Lilly, and joining me today is Seth Burney. Seth, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much, Brandon.
Excellent. Seth is usually traveling all around the country, meeting with small business owners, working out partnership deals, going to conferences and everything like that. But we've finally been able to pin him down. Seth is the partner manager here at Marketing 360. And today we're going to be talking about his favorite topic, and that's how you grow your business through partnerships. So we're going to be talking about a bunch of different marketing tips that you can use to grow your business and to develop more relationships with the people around you. Before we dive in too far, let's go ahead and share this link here for the slides. If you want to access these slides after the presentation, you can always go to m360.us/2b6c. Again, that's m360.us/2b6c. Seth, I think today we're going to be talking about different types of partnerships between the businesses. What's an affiliate? What's a reseller? How do you white label? How do you build on these connections with people? How do you even identify as a small business who you should be partnering with, or even if it's a good value for you? Anything you want to add before we dive in?
The only thing that I would add before we really jump into this is we're going to be going over a couple topics, right? Strategic, affiliate, reseller, white label. Now, there are a ton of different partnerships, and even some of these titles can go by other names. So we're going to do our best to kind of describe it from our point of view, but do keep in mind there's a mixture of partnerships all in between, not just these. So just wanted to touch on that real quick.
Excellent point. There's no hard and fast way to do this, and as every entrepreneur knows, for every time you get a no, you're just that much closer to a yes, and you've just got to keep working at it. The more you work at it, the more you try to find new ways to do things, that's when you really start to accomplish things as an entrepreneur and as a business owner. So I think that's a great point. So let's go ahead and dive into our slides here. What are the different types of partnerships between businesses? Seth, you already mentioned strategic, affiliate, reseller, white label. Again, these are kind of just, I guess, catch-all or kind of umbrella names for a bunch of different types and styles of different partnerships. But let's go ahead and start with the strategic partnership. We've got a slide on that, so let's move over there. And Seth, jump in here. Talk to us about a strategic partnership. What does that look like? What are some examples of things that we could expect to see?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're thinking as a small business owner about a strategic partnership, really what you need to be looking for are other businesses that go after the same client demographics as you, but don't have overlapping services. So on this first slide, we do have a couple examples of this, a tanning salon and a nail salon. That's a very good complementary service for you guys to share information and potentially get new clientele. Another one that's a very hot topic right now, and I'm sure everybody in today's day and age has seen these type of partnerships with fitness gyms, as well as nutritional stores. And even to niche it further, there's a big CrossFit community going and partnering with pre-made meals, right? Pre-made meals, ready to eat, high protein, good carbs, low fats, all of that. So when you're looking at finding these strategic relationships, really what you need to do is kind of ask yourself, number one, who is my ideal client? If they're going to utilize my service, what's a complementary service or a mutually beneficial service that they're also going to offer? I think that that's kind of the first stage here, Brandon, is really identifying who it is you're trying to get in front of and what other businesses can you grab their clientele from, and vice versa, right? We do want to make sure this is mutually beneficial.
And I think something that small businesses will want to keep in mind right up front, a question I get all the time is, why would I pass business off to somebody else? Well, it may not be in your wheelhouse, right? That may not make sense to try to add in a whole nother service or something like that. Like an example that I know of is a landscaper. And for a lot of landscapers, depending on where they're located, as you get closer to the winter months, there's not much to do after that final sprinkler blowout and winterization of the lawn. And this was a client that I worked with years ago, and he decided, and we kind of came up with the idea of, you already got the trucks, you already got the men, so why don't you start doing, snow plowing and snow removal and things like that. It made perfect sense because he already had the equipment, and that was already something that it wasn't a real barrier to entry to get into. In other situations, like that first example you gave, talking hair salon and nails, there may be equipment you don't have, there may be training or licensing that you don't have, and it makes sense, maybe not even from a financial standpoint. And again, this is my opinion, Seth, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but these partnerships aren't always about, is there a financial benefit to me or my company? It can, your goal can be, how can I offer a better or an additional service to my customers and my clientele so that I don't lose them to somebody else? You know, you kind of can keep them in this whirlpool of referrals between businesses.
Absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head with that. Your customers aren't only buying from you, and they're not only getting your service, right? They are going to go and they're going to purchase different products. They're going to go and do different things in their local community. If you now have an opportunity to keep your brand in front of those customers and build on that client base by leveraging these partnerships, I think it's only going to help all those small businesses in that ecosystem grow.
Excellent. I love that. Let's move on to our next slide here. So obviously, once you've located some strategic partnerships, and this doesn't even have to be anything where you drop a contract or anything like that. You could just have had a great experience with a business. You kind of partner together, share some referrals back and forth. But once you've located these strategic partnerships, Seth, walk me through some different promotional ideas.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton, and we're only going to hit on a couple, you know, that come to mind, and ones that we've seen our customers use. But really, it's as simple as, like you said, no contracts needed. Just talk to another small business owner and say, hey, we have like-minded customers and clientele. I have X amount, you have X amount, and I would love to see if we can share our information. A simple way to do that is offering a one-time discount off of a referral that came. So that could be as simple as just creating a coupon, putting it right there on your desk. And when someone makes a purchase, you literally hand them the coupon, or the customer will find the coupon and say, oh, I didn't even know I could get a discount if I went here. Awesome. They keep that handy. Another way, if you really want to make this relationship extremely strategic and you're looking to really tie your two companies together, is by offering kind of a bulk discount, but making it mutually beneficial. So the example we have here is utilizing a prepaid 3-month gym membership, and you get 2 free pre-made meals with that, right? So the gym is actually selling their membership. So they're getting a customer. And with this, they're going to offer 2 free meals to this meal packaging company. Vice versa, if the meal company would sell a meal plan, and let's just say it's a 3-month meal plan, they would also get 1 month free to this specific gym. Now, you're selling your own products. You were going to sell your products in the first place, but by adding this beneficial offer to your customers shows that, hey, as a small business owner, I'm trying to benefit you as my client, right? Not only are you going to sign up for my gym, I'm going to help you get the right meals at the right time. Vice versa, the people who are eating the right meals generally are going to want to work out, right? So that's one example there, Brandon. I didn't know, do you have any other examples of kind of those strategic alignments?
You know, I can actually use one that I've seen out here in Colorado. We have a bunch of escape rooms, local escape rooms around here. And, you know, it can take a long time to switch out rooms. And what you don't want to have happen is that, you know, you start to lose customers because you haven't transitioned your experiences. You know, so out here, I've seen escape rooms that kind of partner together and they offer discounts at other escape rooms.
Yeah.
So they all refer back and forth from each other. And if you bring in a receipt from this escape room, you get a discount from that escape room. And it kind of keeps people in the industry. And I think that's really important to consider also, is that, you know, there may not always be times where, or it may not make sense for your business that you have a kind of an ancillary service that you can, or a partnership that you can work with, but sometimes just keeping them in the industry or in kind of the family, as it were, can be really valuable as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of adding on to the strategic partnerships, right? Once you guys have aligned, you've figured out what that offer is. If you want to offer a strategic or just a standalone partnership, you can utilize and leverage different platforms that you're already using for your marketing engine. Social media is a huge one. Being able to co-brand on posts, get your brand in front of new potential clients that are in your demographics, that's going to be huge. Another one is email and SMS campaigns. Now, this one is a little bit more tricky. You don't want to spam people, especially if you decide I'm going to go down this partnership model and I'm going to sign up a couple partners every week, right? You don't want to just send out your customer base with all of these new partnerships, and you don't want them to do that as well. But you do want to show value and show that this is in a strategic alignment to benefit you, my customer. So I think that's a great one. And then kind of, as I said at the beginning, printed coupons, you hand them out at the stores, you have them on the counters, people can just grab them right when they either sign up or they make a purchase.
This may also be an opportunity to get a little bit more constrained. And not constrained isn't really the word that I'm looking for, but when you start to really kind of establish these kinds of partnerships, when you're talking about promotions and marketing, this is where you can start talking co-op dollars, shared marketing expenses, things like that. And that's where you really kind of want to have this more of a document stating what's expected of you, what's expected of them. You could say, well, we do different marketing campaigns each month of the year. Your involvement, you're going to pay 25% of the 4 ads that we run or the different things that we do, and you're going to pay 25% of that cost 4 times a month. Awesome. That could work really well as well, but you want to have that structure. That's what I was looking for. If you build out that structure so that everybody knows what's expected of them, you can really start to expand what you're doing from a promotional level, not just worrying about or focusing on social media and the kind of the word of mouth marketing, as it were, but you can really structure some campaigns that have shared value for both of you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Awesome. Let's move on to our next slide here. We've got some additional promotional ideas. Seth walked me through these. I know we've got joint giveaways, and it looks like you've got some examples as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So in kind of adding on to what you were saying there, Brandon, you can create an entire marketing strategy built around this partner network that you've implemented, right? That you believe like-minded, mutually beneficial. And this joint giveaway is actually something that is already being very effective through social media platforms. So offering a giveaway, you promote it by both companies, or even to take it a step further, your entire network of partners, right? My wife actually loves getting on Instagram. She has a lot of different people she follows. And one thing that's been very beneficial for, I can say, these companies is they offer generally a 5 to 10 company giveaway. And these giveaways, they're each investing about $50 or more into the giveaway. And then all of the company bring their money together and purchase something big, whether it be a brand new DSLR camera, actually a Mac. They were giving away a MacBook Air at one of these. But the thing is you have to like the image, right? Go and follow all of the businesses in that local area and do all of these steps, right? But by doing this, again, they're sharing it on their promotional pages. And these small businesses have thousands of people that aren't in your network. So by sharing this across different channels and getting in front of new people, you're now going to get more people to follow your platforms as you share from a marketing perspective. So I do want to make sure that everyone who's listening to this understands that the partnerships can be much more than just getting a lead or getting a sale. A strong partnership can benefit your overall marketing strategy, and it can be very integral to that. So the joint giveaway is one you can do. Also doing a giveaway with a purchase. So in order for you to be entered into the giveaway, you have to purchase X amount of merchandise from the store or come in and get a service completed from 1, 2, or 3 of these locations. And then you're going to be entered into the giveaway, right? That's a little bit more extensive, but it's definitely something that's done. And kind of to wrap up this slide from a strategic partnership point of view, I really can't find a more perfect example of a strategic partnership than Peter McKinnon and James Coffee Company. As you said, Brandon, this presentation is linkable. Please go to that link, click that, watch a video by Peter McKinnon. Peter McKinnon is a photographer and videographer, and he had a passion for coffee. And he went to James Coffee and said, I love your brand. I love your message. I love what you're trying to do. And I love coffee. So would you mind if I just took pictures for you, made a couple videos, and you put them on, and I can show in my repertoire of what I've done? and they have grown this partnership. Peter McKinnon is now a YouTube star. I mean, you could say in the sense of things, and James Coffey is expanded to, I think they're in 4 locations, 3 in Canada, 1 in the US now. So a very big partnership, but both of them credit their success to the strategic alignment. So I would definitely have everybody go there, take a look at that, watch the video. I think it's a perfect example.
I love that. Great example. And one final note on this, be sure to check local laws, especially if you're doing giveaways with purchase. Sometimes there are some local restrictions you want to keep an eye out for. So just make sure you double check on that.
Local and social.
Local and social, you're correct. Let's move on to our next slide. Seth, let's talk a little bit about the affiliate partnership, what those differences are, and kind of what industry or what vertical of companies generally lean more towards affiliate partnerships.
Yeah. So affiliate, again, this is one of those words that it's overworked, honestly. From a partner perspective, from a partner manager, I hear affiliate coming left and right and it meaning 100 different things. Generally, affiliate partnerships is seen on the e-commerce side, right? I'm going to send somebody to Amazon. They're going to use this affiliate link, and anybody who purchases that product, I'm going to get a commission for. Yes, that's doable. And yes, you can work that into a small business format. But really what I want to talk about affiliate partnerships today is finding those organizations that are mutually beneficial to your customer, right? If they're going to utilize my service, what other service are they going to need to utilize? And there's 2 ways you can look at this. One is from the partner perspective, finding an affiliate that I want to send my leads to, and vice versa is what's a company that I want to receive from. So a couple of these, you know, when you're looking at this affiliate partnership are a little bit one-sided, but you can make the partnership incentivized, I would say, from both sides, whether it's a pay-per-lead model, whether it's an incentive model, meaning you send me a lead and I'll give you a $50 gift card to somewhere, X, Y, Z. You guys can kind of work that out. But a couple industries here, auto repair shops and a used car dealership, right? Everybody who purchases a vehicle from a used car dealership is more than likely going to take it off the lot and drive straight to a repair shop. If you, as the dealership, have already create a relationship with some repair shops, whether, again, incentivize them to just take care of your customers, make sure that that relationship is good. You never want anybody to say anything bad about your organization. So making sure you're kind of incentivizing them, saying, hey, all of my customers go to, let's just say, Joe at XYZ Auto Repair Shop. He's going to take care of you, and just let me know if you have any questions or concerns. That's a great one. Bail bonds companies and attorneys, right? If someone's going to get a bail bond, more than likely they're going to need an attorney. So just having that relationship already set is going to be great. Another one-sided, but I think is huge, would kind of be that realtor, right? Realtors partnering with a moving company, or realtors partnering with a lawn maintenance company. Yes, those are one-sided. However, as that realtor, you know that generally in 5 to, well, I guess today's day and age is like 2 years, right? Every 2 years, a millennial is going to sell their home. But, every 5 to so odd years, you're going to have an opportunity to resell that house. So if you've already taken the steps to give them a great network who's going to take care of that home and that property, I think that person is going to remember you when they come back to it.
Interesting point on that with the realtors. I talked with a realtor a couple of weeks ago, and I called her up specifically. She sold me my house, and I had a question of who she could recommend for. It was just some handyman work being done, and she had a recommendation off the top of her head. She was like, "Call this person, tell them I sent you. They'll take care of you. Problem solved." And it was a great experience. I didn't have to really go anywhere or ask for a bunch of referrals because I trust her, and the work was excellent. I asked her, I was like, how do you know all these people? And how do you always know who to recommend? And she goes, well, first, I know who to recommend because of trial and error, right? I've tried partnerships that just didn't work out. They didn't provide the service that I need. And she goes, and second, if I refer quality people to that house, then I'm confident when I go to sell the house again. I know it's been taken care of. I know the workmanship was done correctly. I know it wasn't just a bang up job that someone did and didn't get the licenses for or anything like that. She goes, it gives me confidence to sell the house, and I can get the seller a better price later on down the road.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, couldn't agree more. And the only thing I would add to this, Brandon, is just make sure that even though you're doing a service for the partner that drove you that customer, just make sure you're appreciative of that, right? Send back a thank you note. If it is a monetary gesture, that goes a long ways as well. That's also only going to help your lead pool fill up a little bit faster.
Yeah, just take care of them, right? You know, if you take care of them, they'll take care of you. And if that's not the way the relationship is going, then develop another relationship somewhere else.
Yep.
But to go back to one of your earlier points of ensuring, especially I think with the used car dealership and the auto shop, one thing you want to make sure is that you never kind of create this monopoly, right? Where, you know, you send people to this person and there's this, the customer thinks, well, they're going to send me to this mechanic because the mechanic will gloss over issues, right?
Yeah.
And that should be something that's spoken about up front. Mr. Mechanic, I want to send people your way and I want you to be honest with me. And I want you to be honest with the customer, and that there should never be a question as to whether or not I know that I sell high quality vehicles, that we take care of them on the lot. But if there's something wrong, I want you to let me know because we're going to fix it. You know, and if you kind of set that reputation and you set that standard moving forward, you're never going to have customers that kind of question what you're, you know, why you would do this and why am I being referred over here versus, you know, going somewhere else.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
All right, let's move on to our next slides. And I want to shout this out also. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to chat us. We'd love to answer those live on the air. And if we can't get to them today, we'll be sure to answer them a little bit later on our social channels as well. But let's move on to our next slide here and talk about the reseller partnership. You know, this is when you or another company have the ability to sell your products or services to a new client kind of on your behalf. So Seth, unpack this for us. What's a good reseller partnership look like?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I would say this is the type of partnership you will want your legal counsel to jump in and help you out with, right? Anytime you are allowing someone to resell your product or service, you need to make sure that your brand is going to be taken care of. So
absolutely,
that's number one that I would say. A couple examples here that we can talk about are really kind of that freelance consultants, right? Generally, they have a specific niche or industry that they go after. They're continually educating your client demographic on what's best for them, whether it be a service or a product, and they want to sell that product in conjunction with what they're offering. Now, I know that's a little bit confusing, so here's an example. A personal trainer sells your gym membership to a client, and then they add their personal training fees on top of it, right? Everybody understands the personal training world and they understand the gym world. I don't know if a lot of people don't understand that a lot of personal trainers are independent, right? So they're saying, come and train with me. The gym is going to get their commission from it, and the personal trainer is going to take their cut off the top. Right. But in doing so, they're selling that gym membership. So it's beneficial. The more personal trainers that gym can sign up, generally, the more clients they're going to get in on a recurring basis. Another example here would be a roofing company that sells tree trimming service at a premium cost, right? Again, they're already there to replace the roof. Maybe they see there's some branches up there that look a little iffy. You probably want to get that taken care of before we put thousands of dollars into your new roof. You know, here's the cost that it would take to get this handled, right? They do it right there in the agreement. They pay them for it, and boom, you guys send out the tree service that next day to get it trimmed. Now, again, you didn't do any of the sales process. It's a true reseller model. So think about this, you know, from your industry or your service. Is this something that can be resold without me or my team having to do it, right? So this isn't going to work for everybody, and not every small business can offer this type of partnership, but there definitely are some niches that it can work in. So if you have any questions, Brandon said, please reach out to us. We'd love to give you our 2 cents on all of these different types of partnerships, including the reseller one.
You know, Microsoft has been doing the reseller channel for years and years. You know, if you're in the IT industry, oftentimes you'll find that not only are people certified in certain softwares or technologies, but they're also licensed resellers, meaning that Microsoft doesn't have to get involved to sell this server level, enterprise level software, because they know you're trained on it. You know it probably better than they do. You know how to sell it. You know how to answer your customers' questions, because you're going to know that better than Microsoft will. So there's a real value there for Microsoft to invest in the training to make sure that when it's being resold effectively. So keep that in mind also. You know, it may be very easy to, as a roofer, say, yeah, those trees definitely need to be trimmed. There may not need to be a lot of training involved, except maybe defining what kind of services or what kind of equipment you might need to write into your project. There's a local company out here that I love to reference. They're a maid service, a cleaning service. And only recently, actually, I think within the past couple of weeks, they've started reselling handyman services. So obviously you're already in the home and you're already cleaning, you're already there. So you save, both companies save a lot of money by not needing to send someone out to do quotes. But there was a lot of education that needed to go into so that the maids, when they're in the house, know what kind of questions to ask. They know what to look for. They kind of know how to pitch this to the homeowner. Because obviously while it's still in the house, it's there's a wide margin of error for deciding what kind of, I need this handyman service versus, I'm cleaning, and even vice versa, because now the handyman service resells maid cleaning as well. And you don't want someone over promising, under delivering. So keep that in mind. Also, training goes a long way, not just setting up, things from a contract and structural standpoint, but training people on how to effectively sell can really make the difference during setting up a reseller partnership.
100%. Yeah. And then that kind of leads us into the white label partnership. Now, this is one that we have very little information on. And it is very difficult to do in a small business setting, but it is one of those partnerships that's asked for. And generally, you see this more on that software side, right? Whether it's a software as a service that someone can resell and manage on their own, that's generally where you see it. But there are occasionally times and places when a white label can happen. And what we mean by a white label is when you have given a consultant or another company the ability to sell your product or service without the client ever knowing that someone else is actually going to be fulfilling the work, right? Most of the time in the reseller agreements, let's take that maid, for example. I'm sure the maid has their contract for what they're going to be cleaning in the home. And then when it comes to the obligation of getting that handyman service done, they're going to bring in XYZ company, right? And they're going to sign their agreement. They're going to pay them. And that's how that reseller is going to work. But the maid had sold that service originally to the customer. And the white label, that maid service looks like they're also doing that handyman repair, right? It's their branding. There's no other verbiage. There's no other contracts. It's just the maid doing that. So that's kind of an idea of a white label. Again, in the small business world, a white label solution probably isn't going to make sense. And it's more than likely is going to be more of a headache than a benefit, but we at least wanted to put that out there. So if you guys do have any questions, we can definitely be a resource for you.
Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and jump over to our next slide here. I love the quote that you've got: people buy from people they like. And even more, even furthermore, people buy from people that they know when it's convenient. So unpack this for me a little bit. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, so I think we all know in the sales world, trust is a big thing, right? And with trust, people like people. So when talking about if you're going to sell a product or a service, you really, people like you, right? They trust you. So if you're going to add onto that a complimentary service that they already know, they trust you, they like you, and you're saying, hey, here's an offer that you can get, you're already going to do it, why not go ahead and purchase it from this company? You have a much higher chance of getting that sale, right? So from a partner perspective, people are going to purchase items, or they're going to get services done from people they trust, people they know. So if you're handing them the pamphlet saying, here is the people I trust, you should go to them, and when it's convenient for them, right? Not 100% of these people are going to take a pamphlet, turn around, walk out the door, and go back into that other company and say, hey, I just picked this up and I'd like to get my 25% off of my first purchase, right? It takes time. So with this, really what I was just saying is, think outside the box when it comes to a partner perspective. Make sure that you are bringing value to your customers, and remember, they trust you. So if you're going to put your trust into another organization to take care of your customers, do the due diligence, because there is a good percentage chance that they're going to send people to you. They're going to close at a higher percentage. And we've seen it, Brandon, from other studies, that the reason you want to give an incentive off the top is because repeat purchases generally spend 3 times more than first-time purchases. So if you can get them in the door, offer that incentive from someone they trust and know, you're going to get that sale and ultimately have a better opportunity of closing them in the future for services or products.
Exactly. And I think one thing we didn't cover in a whole lot of detail during this webinar is that a lot of this kind of seems like it's very service oriented or very local business oriented, but this can be used for e-commerce and online, digital sales as well. Mm-hmm. We're talking about a lot of this. You can sell services, you sell products, and all across the board, there's always an opportunity to partner with somebody or to do something new and different in the industry. There may be an opportunity for you as an e-commerce business to partner with a print shop that does a lot of the promotional materials and things like that. Maybe the service or the product that you sell is pretty clearly a niche product or a vertical product for a certain industry. And then you can also start to offer some additional opportunities within that industry that's maybe completely unrelated to the product that you're selling. So there's a lot of opportunities here. Don't think that just because we were specifically talking about more of the local businesses, they're great examples, that you can't use these same techniques as a part of your e-commerce business as well. There's a lot of opportunity, and I wanted to make sure that we covered that too.
Absolutely. I think this webinar would probably be another hour and a half longer if we brought that in. But yeah, we love e-commerce. We love helping out. If you guys have any questions about partnering in that e-commerce space or in this local SMB, we just want to be a resource for you.
Absolutely. Seth, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us here and jump in on this webinar. Again, if anybody watching this video later on wants to see this presentation, you can access it at m360.us/2b6c. You can also go to youtube.com/marketing360. We've got a ton of other webinars and other videos that you can watch. And finally, if you do want to reach out and connect with us at Marketing 360, we would love to work with you, even if it's just to answer some questions or maybe give you some insight. We partner with small businesses all across the globe, and we'd love to work with you too. Go to marketing360.com/start, and we'd love to work with you. Seth, anything you want to add?
Thank you very much for having me, Brandon. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Happy marketing.